You're listening to The Burning Truth. Ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes, I'm your host Matt Burns here, and I will state, been a very busy week for myself as such, and also for for the main topic that's going to be discussed, which is going to be wrestling. We've had some big reveals, we've had some big events, and we've got plenty of topics to discuss. One of them being the fact that tomorrow, as usual, as on the weekly schedule, the UKWA will be revealing another member of the roster. Who knows? It could be a single member, or could it be a tag team like it was during this week? Who knows? But only time will tell, and you'll have to wait until tomorrow. But a lot of people have been. I've had a few people actually ask me the age-old question of. Well, I've had a lot of people asking about the pick for the UKWA GM. Now, that decision wasn't made entirely by myself. As such, As such, we've also had Renee involved. Renee was involved, and Drew, the entrepreneur Christopher Drew, made some very striking options. I made a very professional business offer, to the point of where we couldn't really say no to the offer that was being made. Now he did make a few requests, which one of them being that he was able to make his own announcements on the UKWA channel as such, which he has every right to, which is all part of the deal of being the new UKWA GM. So no issues there. However, he is stating that he is going to be running it as much as he sees fit. Now, we'll have to wait and see if we actually agree with that. But so far from what he has shown, but to myself and my business colleague Renee, we can't disagree with what he's got planned. But in regards to the implementation, that could be questionable, but we'll have to wait and see. But I just thought I'd just bring it up again with him being announced, on Friday on our YouTube channel, that he is the new UKWA General Manager of the roster. He will be conducting the matches as such, and will hopefully be acquiring new acquisitions as well. But, and this is an emphasis, the final decision as such in regards to, as in for the financial of the company, that is down to the owners as such. But in regards to the actual booking and who's going to be on shows as such, that will be run by the GM. But he is not the only one who has. He doesn't exactly have final say on that matter. But I highly doubt that it will come down to that, and that Christopher Drew will conduct himself in a professional manner as he did in the business meeting that he requested with myself and Renee to acquire the new role of UKWA GM, General Manager. So at this moment in time, myself and Renee firmly stand behind Christopher Drew in going forth on being the UKWA General Manager. Now, other than, not only was that revealed, on that day I was actually at a wrestling event, which was Fusion Pro Wrestling. And I will state, I was initially only a member of the crowd. I paid a ticket to get in to watch the show. I did receive plenty of I got involved in the as a member of the crowd, had some banter with some of the wrestlers as such, but one of them was pushing his luck. One of them ended up pushing his luck a bit too far, and that would be AJ Hughes. Now, I don't know what Fusion Pro Wrestling's, what their management or their principles are in regards, I can understand that they want to protect their workers as such, but when a member of the Fusion Pro Wrestler, or Fusion Pro Wrestling, slaps a member of the audience, which being myself, I hope that some repercussion does come from it, because yes, he did assault me, and it was bear witness in front of everybody. Now, I will state, I was very hasty in my response or retort, in my reaction, and was ready to strike him. And the thing is, if I had, that would have more likely have given him the victory due to disqualification. But frustrations can, cooler heads should have prevailed, and with the referee getting involved, I honestly now believe that he did the right thing in sending me out to the back to be, to sort of be banned from ringside, because at that time, because of being slapped, I have no idea what I was going to be considering doing to AJ Hughes at that time, and I think the referee made the right call, and he did. He made the right call, and it ended up being that a conclusion that came to the match. As much as as much as I will state that I do think that Ryloid deserved better than to be hit, be struck by a steel chair, during the match. AJ Hughes up to his old tricks, but later on in the night came a much better moment for me, because lo and behold, as I got in the back, I then suddenly remembered there's an over-the-top rope battle royale, open invitational, of course. Not like I would have driven down to a show with my wrestling gear, would I? Of course I did. So I immediately went to my car to grab my gear, which I pretty much had to be very, very quickly. Put my gear on and got myself ready for the over-the-top battle royale. However, I will state, I did see something before that in the main event on G-Force. Now, G-Force had successfully defended his championship, and what happened after was a travesty, with AJ Hughes appearing again. But he wasn't alone. He had his dogs, well, it says he has he's the one in charge. He has his, friends, minions, whatever he wants to call them. To me, I'd say he more likely was sending his dogs on G-Force to do his dirty work, because he can't get the job done cleanly. Now, it takes 3 of them to knock down G-Force. Well, me and a fellow member of the Fusion, me and a fellow wrestler couldn't be having that. So we decided to make a statement by entering that ring, and I will state AJ Hughes and his boys, as I would like to call them, scarp it out so quickly because they didn't want, they didn't want a fair match. Now, one thing I will state is straight after they scarped, the first thing that will come to my mind is AJ Hughes. I will get you at a later date, but at that moment in time, the champion needed to be lifted up to be a high spirit. He had, successfully defended his championship, and as such, deserved to be able to bask in the victory, which is why we left to allow the fans to cheer on their, the grand champion, the Fusion Pro Wrestling grand champion, G-Force, and I hope he is able to continue on, because he is a fighting champion, and who knows, I have actually fought him in the past. Who knows, I could even end up fighting against him for that very championship, which would be an absolute honour. But at this moment in time, I would love for it to be as soon as possible. I just feel as though I need to get AJ Hughes out of the way first. And or at the very least get rid of his dogs for you, so then it can be a fair match when you do actually go up against AJ Hughes down the road. Now, in regards to the over the top battle royal, I didn't win it unfortunately, but that aside, as in regards to any further spoilers for the Fusion Pro Wrestling show, I will recommend that you do go to their social media on Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram. Please check them out because they have got some fantastic they'll have some reviews and such, some fantastic photo work by I believe Q Photography. I believe it is. If I've got it incorrect, I do apologise, but the photography was absolutely spot on. Fantastic, great work. But for that event. But with that, I'm going to now move on to other topic, which is overseas, which is going to be discussing WWE. Now, at this moment in time, WWE on Raw have supposedly turned Braun Strowman heel. Why? Why are they trying to turn Strowman heel? And how are they making that out? Because he's teamed up with Dolph Ziggler and Drew. Now, that doesn't necessarily confirm it. Well, a lot of people could say, it confirms him as a heel because he's working with the other heels. Well, take into account, as such, Roman Reigns, like the previous week, did a heelish thing by having his boys triple team attack him and powerbomb him to a table when he was about to cash in, which is right. Although, Strowman was cashing in after the championship match. But it's still questionable. Now, I don't think this is a heel turn, personally. I just think this was Strowman's way of getting back at Roman for what he did. And this could end up leading to a big match at Hell in a Cell. And in regards to predictions, I will mention one prediction right now that I do think. If it is for the Money in the Bank contract, I can't see Braun Strowman being successful at Hell in a Cell against Roman Reigns because, one, he's only just won it, and two, way too soon, and WWE want Roman to keep the championship and be the big dog, as Michael Cole keeps shouting, "Big dog! Big dog!" And as much as Cultaholic do actually mock at them as well. But I don't think this is a proper Strowman heel turn. I just think that they're just doing this to try and help get Roman Reigns over. But once again, this could end up having the crowd turn on Roman more than actually work to his benefit. And another supposed heel turn that did actually happen at SummerSlam. Well, the current events with Becky Lynch. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, she's turned heel, she's doing villainous stuff and everything. Well, here's the thing. I don't think it's an actual heel turn, because take into account the second that Becky Lynch started to hit on, supposedly turned, started to strike Charlotte after the championship triple threat match at SummerSlam, the crowd went mental. They were cheering it. They're still cheering it. And do you know why I think they're cheering it? Well, because this is more likely the fact that they are actually allowing Becky Lynch to play her actual character. The last kicker. The fact that she's a fiery redhead. The fact that... Here's the thing. Some people have even stated, even drawn the comparisons that Becky Lynch could be the female version of Steve Austin. It's possible. And very likely, but here's the thing. I think people are more likely to get behind Becky Lynch and boo Charlotte than the other way around. Because take into account, I feel as though the crowd are going to get behind Becky, because when it came to actually earning the championship, she had to earn it. She's been gaining victory after victory after victory. She didn't just sort of turn up, oh, you're going to get a match against the champ, beat the champ, and get thrown into the match. It feels as though more likely Charlotte's been given her opportunities through entitlements when Becky Lynch had to fight more for it. Now, I think one or two things are either going to happen. They've either got to 100% buckle down and confirm that Becky Lynch is heel turning by doing something very diabolical, or they've got to naturally turn Charlotte into the actual heel. But that's just my personal opinion on that matter. Now let's get back to Raw, shall we? Because we need to discuss the angle that's currently happening with Kevin Owens. Now, I love what WWE have been doing with Kevin Owens by, transferring his details over to the alumni of WWE and stating that he has quit WWE and everything. Now, with that, I can actually see something big coming Kevin Owens' way. As into regards to what it is, the only thing that is supposedly rumoured is that Kevin Owens could end up being the next Paul Heyman guy. Now, if he is, fantastic, great news, could end up bigger things, but I don't think Kevin Owens needs a Paul Heyman, because the one thing that Kevin Owens can do is cut a promo very much, which would negate Paul Heyman being there. Now, if they do actually have him there, it'd have to be 50-50 with the promo stuff, but it means that Kevin will shut up more, which could result in possibly more heel work, more. But there's also the possibility. There's also another possibility that Kevin Owens could end up coming back to a face response. But that's just my personal opinion, because it seemed like he was getting a cheers before he announced he was quitting. Kevin Owens before he announced he quit. So there's a possibility of that as well. Whatever they, I just hope that WWE do this justice, that they don't just brush it under the rug. I think Kevin Owens does deserve to have a big moment or a big angle for himself, because the man does actually work damn hard in regards to his place on the WWE roster. So please, WWE, do not mess this angle up, and secondly, I hope that they don't just have made him quit so he can be in the back locker room helping out with other stuff, because I think Kevin Owens should be on screen being entertaining himself, because the man knows how to work a crowd, be it as a as a as a top face, as a thunderous hero, or as a conniving, evil, cocky heel. The man can do no wrong. Do right by him and give him something that he can sink his teeth into. Now, at this moment in time, on NXT, with I believe on with WWE NXT, Toni Storm recently had suffered a spinal injury. However, it's nothing serious, nothing that is that's going to require surgery. It's something that could be not as serious. However, Toni Storm has had to vacate the WXW Women's Championship in regards to the injury due to not being able to go to certain events. She is having some time off, but it may not require it may not require massive surgery, but nevertheless, Toni Storm is going to have some time off to recuperate and hopefully fully heal and get back into the into show things, get back to how she was, back to being fit, back to not being injured. But the burning truth, hope that Toni Storm is able to be able to return much sooner rather than later, because injuries is never any good as such. But let's move on, shall we, from that? Actually, speaking of injury, another topic that's been brought to my attention is in regards to the current King of the Kingdom champion, which is Luke Basham. He has been stated that he has been to the doctors as such, and I would like to announce that he is most likely going to be missing a month at least, from what the doctors has mentioned to him. So in regards to that, sympathies in regards to that he's going to have to be missing a month of shows. However, I do hope that he does have a speedy recovery and is able to get back into wrestling and hopefully be able to keep his King of the Kingdom championship, because in regards to that, at this moment in time, if it's only a month, myself and Renee are very, very happy to keep the championship on him if he's able to return, after, is able to return within a month's time, and hopefully be able to be able to defend that championship. If it is much longer than a month, if it ends up being 2 months, if it ends up being 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, then we may have to have a business meeting in regards to that. But we will leave that option. We will leave an option to allow the champion to basically forfeit the championship to us as such, because he is the only one who knows currently how long he is going to be. But I will state, I hope that Basham doesn't have to relinquish the King of the Kingdom championship and that he is able to go on and fight. But from both myself and Renee, as much as I will state that she can scare the hell out of me, we both wish you nothing but the best in your recovery. Now, let's get on to the indie scene, which is to do with All In. Now, the event was absolutely massive. Had some great matches, told some stellar stories, had twists, turns, and everything. However, I'm not going to be throwing out any spoilers as such, because if anyone wants to be able to watch it, you can actually go out and watch it. Be able to pay for it and watch it. No spoilers from me right now, because I won't give you the chance to still be able to watch it. But it's an absolute amazing show. Nothing, top to bottom, and I will give them the credit on timing as well, especially with the fact that the main event was supposedly rushed. so that they didn't have to go over on time with the broadcast, which they were very, very lucky on, because from what has been stated, that they had roughly, I'd say, about supposedly 3 minutes to somewhere between 3 minutes to 3 seconds left for the broadcast. But I'd say more closer to 3 minutes. But some people are stating 3 minutes, 3 seconds to any bang on there and then. They had to do it there and then. Otherwise, the broadcast would have cut off much sooner than, which would have meant that the show would have ended before it actually ended, which could have cost the all the people who were involved for All In. But congratulations to all the parties involved for All In, and congratulations to all the wrestlers that put on an absolute stellar show. Now, in regards to that, after that, I have got to bring up a gentleman who has been mentioned previously on The Burning Truth, but he has been controversial in the past, but he hasn't been controversial this time, which is CM Punk. As much as he is no longer in the wrestling business, he has actually gone out to a meet and greet for wrestling fans as such, and he was, doing some meet and greets, signing autographs, chatting with fans as such. But CM Punk sent out a personal Twitter message to all the fans that queued up for him during blistering, boiling heat weather, for autographs and to meet him. He has actually sent out a personal thank you message for all of them that were waiting just for him. And I think that is regardless of what had happened previously, that is a classy touch, CM Punk, in regards to that, and that I can't deny. That's quite classy. But moving on for that, this is going to be the last subject that I'm actually bringing up for the broadcast this week, which is I'm going to be mentioning Pro Wrestling for You Full Monty, which is a show that's going to be happening on Friday the 7th of September 2018 at Silverdale Working Men's Club. I recommend that you get a ticket there, because even I'm on the show, which is, because I'm going to the Full Monty. I'm in the Full Monty match, which is, going to have it's got a fantastic reward for the winner of that match, but cannot state, if anybody wants to know what, in regards to the matches for that, please go to Pro Wrestling for You's social media as such for that. But if anybody wants to purchase a ticket, you can actually either pay for £5 on the door, or you can find them available at www.pw4u.co.uk. That is www.pw4u.co.uk. And that's where you can get your tickets there, only for £5. So I recommend you do check that out. But it's going to be an absolute stellar event, so please check them out. And if anybody is interested in going, please get your tickets, because they will most likely be selling up fast. And it's one not to miss. And with that now being said, I am now going to be doing my usually weekly plugs, which is, as always, going to be the UKWA, which is the UK Wrestling Alliance, the UKWM, which is UK Wrestling Media, who also do photography work, media work, and as such do fantastic work. JG Printing and Stitching. Changes for Health and Wellbeing. Changes UK, which on their website they do actually have some great information, on health and mental health as such. And I do recommend anybody to do go on there, on the Changes website, because the information on there could end up helping yourself or anyone that you may know, because you never know. And I can finally say it. I recommend this one, Team 4 Star, because they've finally done a new episode. Episode 60. It's finally out. Get in. But even though it's episode 60, it's only part 1. Damn it. We only get half of it. But I can absolutely not wait until the second half already. And I hope it absolutely comes very soon. But, you know, I want you to check out bands The New Breed, Kamens. Please check them out because they do absolutely great music and whatnot. And as always, I've got to fit in my usual weekly mention of Batchamania. You're welcome, Matthew. And I want everybody check out Barely Average Studios, great gaming channel on YouTube. Please check them out. And last thing to, you know, for external plugs, I'm going to be mentioning Fatal Misfire, which is a game streaming. Now, please check him out at twitch.tv/Fatal Misfire HD. He has usually got a stream going on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, starting at any time between 7 PM and 9 PM GMT/BST, also known as UK Standard Time. Please give him a check out on there. And if I'm not mistaken, he does actually accept donations. But if you do actually send a donation, please understand that if you do donate, you know, it will be for helping for him to improve. But understand, he will actually give you massive shout outs and he will appreciate it. But with that, I won't give out a shout out to other social media where, you know, other wrestling companies, you know, Pro Wrestling for You, you know, Fusion Pro Wrestling, and of course United Wrestling Live. Please, I do recommend you check out all wrestling social media, you know, wrestling company social media, because you never know, because they can always be potentially giving out free tickets. One of them being Pro Wrestling for You, or I believe possibly giving out some free tickets for the Full Monty, so please check them out. And United Wrestling Live always give out, I believe, a massive family ticket out on their social media, but that could change. But you know, you won't know unless you check out their social media, especially Facebook. So please check that out. And the last thing to actually bring up, which is the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com, where this is most likely where you're listening to us live. You could be listening to me live right now on there, so appreciate that. Or you could be listening to past broadcasts, past interviews, show reviews, written and also audio reviews, where you can get some snazzy merchandise, which is, you know, some, you know, nice fitting t-shirts, and of course some great office mugs, which can also be great presents as well. A blog page where I'll be actually putting my reviews on there, and I will hopefully be having a blog post coming out eventually. I'm back at it, but I have started a blog. You know, I have started to work on a blog post, but getting around to it has been a lot bit more harder than what I've expected, but I will get round to it. And where you can actually contact the Burning Truth, and of course a links page where all the things that I have actually already currently mentioned already, where there will be a link provided to the websites, so you can check them out for yourselves. And of course, last but not least, I recommend you check out our social media, which is check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and of course Twitter, which is a little bit different. Instead of it being the Burning Truth on Twitter, we are going under Wrestling Fourth Wall, which, well, I'll just spell it out for you: WRESLING 4THWALL instead of actually saying it. But, you know, check that out to find us. But I'm pretty sure if you do put the Burning Truth on, you may actually find us. And as of course, that is a wrap for this week. So thank you very much for listening to this episode for this week. And I believe next week, I'm just double checking on my calendar right now to see if I'm actually available for next week. As such, I should be available, but just in case if I am not, please keep an eye out on our social media, as I've already just mentioned. But I will try to be live, and yes, I will note I was a little bit late for this episode, but I've hopefully made up for a bit of a longer episode for today, as such. But I'll hopefully catch you next week. So with that, as always, stay well, stay safe. I'll hopefully catch you next week, and as always, please check out your local wrestling.